Hambletonian.
Okay.
Deweycheatumnhowe.
Yep.
Right. This was a horse that you rode. Like, what was his training style like?
Well, we rode him a lot. He was getting a little hot at 2, so I started riding him, and he calmed right down. He was really nice, and you could actually just walk him on the track, and he was great. He was a perfect horse then. He just did everything right. You could drive him. Anything you want to do, come from behind, leave the gate, and he was a lot of fun.
Let's set up the race. Was he? Am I correct in saying he was the first undefeated?
Yes, never got no press. If he was the first undefeated Kentucky Derby winner, that's all they'd be talking about. But
first undefeated.
Yeah.
So was that something that you knew going into it, or was that just something? I mean, you were driving him right along. He was New Jersey sired, right?
New Jersey sired, yep. And he won. I think he won 11 in a row at 2. And now I knew he hadn't got beat, so I was hoping it wasn't going to be the Hambletonian either.
When did you know you had something special? Because I remember, if I recall correctly, his first race, he was 40 lengths back at the top of the stretch, whatever it was, and he came flying at the end and won his first baby race, right?
Yeah. No, he lost his first baby race to.
I mean, purse race.
First stake race, he come from behind and won, and the second start, I was sitting way back, and he won. He come from heaven. And George Brennan, after the race, said he's a great one because nobody could ever come from there and win a race. So
was that the instant you knew, like, hey, we got something? Or you knew because you're training them, you're breaking them? When did you know you had something special?
Well, kind of like training the pacers and trotters together. A lot of times he could go right with the pacers, so maybe your pacers stink, but if you got a trotter who can do that, you're usually in pretty good shape.
I mean, generally the trotters are 3-4 seconds behind the pacers, so if he can keep up.
Yeah, and he was like driving a car, so like he could keep up. He had no problem.
Now, you drove him straight through, right? You were the only one to ever drive him?
Yes, that's correct.
So at that point, you had a big barn. You were not... You just can't drive every horse. You're sending horses off to Buffalo, to Pocono, to Meadows, Jersey. Was he the horse that you said, I have to follow this horse?
Yeah, probably at that time I only had maybe 9 babies, but that year there I had a particular great year. I had Riggins, I had Make It Happen, who was third in the Hamiltonian. I had a horse called Flower Lane, won like 6 PA sires in a row. What else I have? Jagger Blue Chip, really nice New York. But I think I only had like 7 yearlings, and they all turned out good that year.
But you got plenty of racehorses too. I mean, so you're sending horses all over the place. And was this horse? You said, all right, I got to drive this horse right along.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he was a good one. I thought I could win the Hamble with him, and I wanted to be one driving him.
Were you able to pick the one?
Yeah, I picked the one. I figured if somebody was going to be getting parked, it wasn't going to be me. And the only thing I was worried about is somebody leaving, and I was worried about Craze getting the jump on me if I let somebody go.
How did they choose? Did you get to pick first?
I think there was 3 divisions that year of eliminations, and I think I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure.
Okay, so either way, you get the rail, and we'll actually cue up the video right now. So we're going behind the gate.
3-year-old trotters lined up for the 8th race, the 83rd Hambletonian for 2008, $1.5 million.
Now again, you got was Crazed pre-game, pre-race. What's your game plan? Are you looking to go to the front? You're aggressive?
I generally hadn't. Really, actually, I hadn't generally left with him really ever.
Okay.
Just would quarter pole, come at the half 100. But I more I got thinking about it, I said, well, if we're going to beat, we're going to beat on the front. I'm not going to get locked in or any of this kind of stuff. And I thought I was tons the best. And actually, I got on his case at the wire. I probably didn't even have to. And it's a good feeling.
Were you nervous? Do you get nervous driving? I mean, this is the biggest purse race you probably ever raced for, right?
Yes. It's funny. Once the race is out there, you're like in a vacuum, so you don't really. I don't know. I'm never thinking about. I'm just focused.
You just focus behind the gate. You zone in as soon as they hit behind the gate. It's Dewey's job now at this point.
And that day there the track was getting better, but it rained all morning.
Right, it rained all morning, so it was a little muddy. Was that something you factored into, or you didn't care?
No, I didn't care. I thought first quarter was pretty fast. I thought it might be in a hair of trouble then, but Hamiltonian day they got the track so fast that
it didn't matter.
Didn't really matter, and I was backing into him around the last turn and that. So.
All right, so we're behind the gate, and again, you're just Are you looking to your right, or that's it? You're going to the front, and that's it.
I was just making sure to make a break coming out of the gate.
Okay.
He never made a break before, but that's
always something, right?
Yeah, and actually you can watch. He actually threw a step in halfway down the lane here.
Oh yeah.
And the current favorite, Deweycheatumnhowe, undefeated. Here they come. And the Rockman trotting pine after pine, showing speed. Big Apple Deli, the favorite, Deweycheatumnhowe, steps out there sharply, protecting that rail position. Deweycheatumnhowe and pine after pine on the outside. Pierce will challenge.
Okay, so gathered him up. Was he good in the turns?
He just was perfect going. And I got a little break here probably. I don't think it would have mattered, but Pierce made a break going to the quarter. And then I was just kind of on the lead by myself there. And
since you were that half a length, maybe off the gate, everybody's leaving. Were you able? Again, are you looking right, or that's it? I'm just focusing my horse, and I'm not letting anybody go at this point.
No, I was kind of looking. You always look over a little bit, but I was just making sure I got out of the gates on the right step, and it was. So I looked over and
guided through the first turn. Pierce is going to make a break right here.
Yeah, and everybody's kind of trying to get a check.
Right.
So that's why I'm taking shots. So you're going for $1.5 million.
Yeah, even 5% is $75,000.
Yeah.
So it's a good. Now you also had Make It Happen, right?
Yeah.
Who's driving him?
Danny Dubé drove him.
Danny Dubé, and he's got the 10-hole, right?
Yeah, I told Danny I drove him like a horse's ass in eliminations, and I said he's got one run. If you set it, he can come, and he did.
All right.
Around the first turn.
Quarter.
Crazed gets away well. Crazed on the inside. Now assumes that second position. Leaving pine after pine parked out fourth there. And Big Apple Deli keeps pine after pine out there, and he's off stride. Pine after pine. Velocity Hall now fourth past the opening quarter. Atomic Hall is fifth. First quarter was wicked. 26 4/5 down the back.
All right. So two things. Did you hear the horse make a break?
No, but. As you see, we were rolling kind of right along. Nobody was really keeping up. And I just figured if we just kept kind of a decent pace and didn't jam them up too bad, we'd be in good shape.
So 26 4, you were a little nervous at that?
Nah, he had never lost. So
he never lost. So you any horse, all these big races, you have to have confidence in your horse.
Yeah,
no matter what the fractions are, no matter what you throw at him, the good horses step up.
Yeah,
right?
he never had lost a race, and he'd beaten this crew a bunch of times. So yeah. Pretty confident.
Now, what about the only other horse you're pretty much worried about is Crazed, right?
Yep.
He's on your back.
Yeah.
Had he been in that position before?
Yeah, Timmy's always had him in good spots. He had like a real good quarter of Crazed if he sat in. That was the only thing I was worried. I think when we went to the last turn, I started jamming everybody up a little bit, and then I sprinted off. And
so Crazed is on your back.
Yeah.
26 4 is Dewey easy to rate.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so we go down the back stretch.
Clerk Magistrate underway sixth on the outside, followed by Cajun Cooker towards the rail. Then it's Celebrity Secret getting underway. 2-3 lengths to Make It Happen after the break. Pine after pine. Here's the trailer. And it's Deweycheatumnhowe leading the way here with Ray Schnittker trying to tap the brakes and ration out the speed. Velocity Hall, big long shot.
All right, now you take a look back just before the half. You see the 7-horse who was 75 1. You happy at that point?
That was because then you just jam them all up. Then you hit you just log jam out there. So that worked out really good.
Now again, maybe it's one of those things like you're grabbing up, so maybe you can lock Crazed in.
Well, that's what I was planning. I figured if it come down to a sprint, I didn't really think Dewey could really trot for a piece. I didn't think really anybody could out sprint him.
And let's be realistic, he was huge.
Yeah.
He's a huge horse.
Yeah, he was huge.
A nice big gate on him. So you see the 7-horse, he's 75 1. Now you start to grab up.
Yeah.
Is that something you always do? You always like to look back?
Yeah. Well, with him, I always looked back and checked out what was going on.
Okay.
Maybe in a normal race, I don't usually.
So you're going to start to rate him a little bit now.
Yeah.
Dave Miller up to challenge into second. Crazed is now locked in the box third. The half was a rated 55 seconds as Clerk Magistrate and Jody Jamieson are working out a second over and hoping that cover advances. Velocity Hall struggling first over but still second there. Big Apple Deli is locked in fifth as they round the far turn. Celebrity Secret and Sears third over, sixth approaching three-quarters. Atomic Hall buried on the rail. Then it's Make It Happen followed by...
So the 7-horse hasn't even gained, he's not even up to your wheel yet. So it's good. How much can you pull back on Dewey before you just have to let him go?
He was perfect. So, basically everything went perfect for the race for me, and I had the best horse. So,
Are any thoughts at all about your other horse, Make It Happen, or that's Danny's job?
That was Danny's job, and I wasn't even paying no attention to
Okay.
him. And probably an underrated horse, made $900,000 a year. Nobody talked about.
Nobody talked about him. All right, so we're hitting the top of the stretch.
Cajun Cooker and Pine after Pine. It's Deweycheatumnhowe, and the ball's in his court. 123 2, and they turn home in the Hambletonian, and they come after Deweycheatumnhowe by 2 lengths. Crazed in that pocket spot, needs to shake loose. Off cover, Clerk Magistrate taking dead aim for the upset. And out with a whip is Ray Schnittker. Deweycheatumnhowe.
All right, so mid-stretch, how you feeling right now? Are you thinking I'm going to win? Or do you ever just, I need the wire, here comes Tim Tetrick popping out of the 2-hole?
Not really. I got on his case, which I probably didn't have to. And
a little extra adrenaline,
that might have
1.5
been.
million.
I didn't want to have. I don't want to hear this. That I was sleeping at the wire and get nailed or something.
Okay.
And that's the first time I ever hit the horse, and probably didn't have to. And he's, he won by a length and a half or so, I think.
So Craze is popping out.
Yeah, if he was ever going to beat him, it was right there,
Here comes Crazed and Tim Tetrick on the outside to test the champion to the wire. Dewey needs the wire. Deweycheatumnhowe. Crazed on the outside. Dewey does it. Devastating Dewey. Undefeated. 152 over Crazed. Make it happen. And Celebrity Secret.
Yeah, I mean, you win by 3/4 of a length.
Yeah.
No real pressure from Crazed or from anybody.
No.
At what point after the wire are you yelling? Did you scream? What happened right after the wire?
Well, it was pretty funny because Danny Dubé got up to me and says, Ray, I got third. And I remember just looking up and thinking, it ain't never getting better than this because
First and third in the Hambletonian.
Yeah, I think I owned a third of both of the horses. So not many guys get paydays like that, driving,
payday,
trading,
yeah.
and owning. So it was great.
Coming back to now, this was the winner's circle. You got a long time to think. When did it finally set in?
Probably the next day because we had a big party at the El Villaggio and just everybody drinking, all my friends, and it was great. I had a bunch of the drivers called up and congratulated me, and that was really nice. And the next day it kind of sunk in, and I'm just glad I didn't get beat by a nose. I'm glad I won the race.
Right, glad you won the race. And listen, Dewey went on to did he win the Kentucky Fraternity?
Yeah, I won the fraternity and
but
Canadian Trotting Championship.
Right, he won a bunch of races,
Yeah.
so it was nice that and you drove him every start of his life.
Yep, every start, and he lost 3 races.
3 races total.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I mean, listen, getting towards probably the end of the year, listen, it's a long road.
Yeah, well, he got a throat problem, a real weird condition his last start. That's why I think he won lost the Breeders' Cup, or Breeders' Crown.
You got the Hambletonian though.
That's the only one you want.